Hi, I'm Louis.
I'm Gav.
I'm Dolan.
And welcome back to God Comics. Since we last spoke, a lot of stuff has happened. Firstly, the main thing has been the Super Bowl. And with the Super Bowl, of course, there's a whole bunch of new trailers coming up. Something that I've really enjoyed was the Solo movie, which was brilliant. Seeing Han Solo young and with the brand spanking new Millennium Falcon was pretty cool. Deadpool met Cable, which was Deadpoolicious. We got the Venom trailer finally, but with no Venom. And then, of course, we got the extended Infinity War trailer with a couple of more Easter eggs. And what I've personally been catching up on is the Arrowverse. Yeah?
So, in preparation for this week's episode, I happened to read Fantastic Four issue 52 and Fantastic Four issue 53, which we are going to delve in a little bit later. Dom?
Right, so I went back to my roots, decided to put on the TV and go back and watch my old animation series that we spoke about. So I was watching a little bit of He-Man, a little bit of Spider-Man, and then I hit the Batman animated series, which is actually brilliant.
Nice.
And then I did a bit of preparation for these statues.
Oh, cool.
What I want to talk about a little bit later, and of course how the comic has been doing over this last few months because of the movie.
Nice.
Awesome. This episode will be all about Black Panther. The movie's coming out in a couple of days, and we are just about as excited as three full-grown men can be about a movie of a guy in tight black pants. The interwebs have been absolutely buzzing regarding T'Challa's first standalone movie. So much so that not only is it being hailed as one of the best comic book movies ever made, but Chadwick is actually on the cover of Time magazine. Which, if you take it in the context that Elon Musk just put a Tesla Roadster into space, that they put a comic book character on the cover of Time.
It's brilliant.
I love Time's prioritization of what's happening there. Which actually begs the question, Dolan, as you said earlier, when are we going to see the first Oscar for a superhero movie? And I'm not talking about editing or
best actor.
Best actor. We want
soundtrack
the big three. Best soundtrack or best storyboard.
But
we're
Heath
looking for
Ledger
best
won an Oscar for playing the Joker in The Dark Knight.
Did he?
Yeah, he won an Oscar.
When?
No, after he died.
Yeah, but hang on,
let's
be honest, that's because what do we do for this guy?
Yeah,
but while he's living, what do? You know, I mean, agreed. It's like best movie. They are pumping out the money.
Yeah.
You know,
it's massive.
Is that not what it's about? It's like, you know, what makes an Oscar?
Yeah.
It's like a brilliant movie. It's followers are there, not one that, you know, like budget is, you know, $10 million and what's your box office? 200,000.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. But anyway, that's why we're not on the board for the Academy Awards.
No, because then Batman animated series would win every time.
Every time. So what is this movie about? First thing you need to know is there's been an incarnation of some sort or another of Black Panther movie since 1992, where Wesley Snipes actually wrote his own screenplay with him, of course, as the Black Panther, but for whatever reason it just didn't get off, and he started doing the Blade franchise, and it went from there.
Yeah.
Now, the director Ryan Coogler, he has been directing Michael B. Jordan in about 2 movies. The first one was the Creed movie, then Fruitvale Station. So they are reuniting to bring us the Black Panther movie, and of course, Michael B. Jordan is Killmonger, the main villain in the movie. Also, something that was pretty cool to me, in keeping with the whole Africa theme, South African actor John Carney was very passionate about the fact that when T'Challa is speaking to T'Chaka, the dad speaking to the son, he was very passionate about the fact that they should be speaking an African language, and because he is South African, because he is Xhosa, the language that they choose to speak is Xhosa, which I think is really pretty cool.
That's cool.
It was a cool little, I wouldn't call it an Easter egg, but I don't think a lot of people, if you don't know Xhosa, you're probably just going to think they're speaking some weird language. But I think that was pretty cool, especially keeping with the whole Africa vibe. All in all, the movie looks impressive.
Yeah.
I mean, this is Marvel's flagship movie. I wouldn't call it, flagship is probably the wrong word, but this is something that is going to get a lot of people super duper excited going into Infinity War.
Yeah.
Because Infinity War is the end of an era. Marvel Cinematic Universe. Yeah, the cinematic universe is turning 10.
Yeah, it's 10 years. They celebrated 10 years now.
Yeah, they celebrated 10 years now. So it's been 10 years since the first Iron Man came out. So this is the big one before they go into
the next
phase. So we are still taking bets on who you think is not going to make it through Infinity War. But Black Panther is leading us up to Infinity War, which is going to be huge. So the weapons, the suits, the fights, everything is going to be massive. And also because this movie is, like it or not, this movie is going to be very, very culturally significant. So I'm just excited. It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be amazing.
It's going to be super,
really
duper awesome.
So where does the Black Panther originate from? Did I say that right? Originate.
Yes.
Originate.
Very good vocalization.
Yeah. So obviously, the Black Panther is classic design and written from classically designed and written by Jack Kirby and Stan Lee. And you wouldn't believe it, but the Black Panther, as he looks now, was not meant to look like that originally.
Not at all.
So this is kind of what he looked like before and originally, before the design was changed. And he was meant to be called the Coal Tiger.
Is that why they got a T on his belt?
For tiger, either tiger or T'Challa.
Or they maybe realize there's no tigers in Africa. And tigers aren't black or coal colored.
The other thing that's kind of outright to notice is why yellow?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're trying to stalk someone at night, the last thing you want is luminescent colours on you.
Well, there were no like real cars riding around in Africa at that time.
Probably.
So you wouldn't be caught in the headlights.
Yeah.
Like a scared deer.
Like a tiger in the headlights.
Well, yeah, I was going to go with deer, but let's go with that.
And then there's like the flippers on the feet.
Yeah.
That doesn't look like.
But that makes sense. Tigers do like water.
They do.
Right.
So that could.
Right. So he needed the right gear to swim in. Right.
Wasn't Howard the Duck popular during that period as well?
I think it was a bit before that. Before that was time.
Also, I like the fact that they did absolutely nothing to disguise who he was.
Yeah.
Because, he has no mask.
Yeah.
So you can easily see his face. So you'd be like, I am the Coal Tiger. And he'd be like, no, you're not.
T'Challa. Who are you fooling?
Yeah, the whole Superman Clark Kent thing going on there.
Maybe he wore cloud nine.
No, nothing to disguise him. Okay. Maybe the crown. Maybe without the crown.
That's it exactly.
Maybe,
like
maybe
president.
Maybe he pulls the crown down.
Yeah.
With like two eye holes.
It could have been.
Alright, so look. Yeah, no, carry on.
It's Kirby.
It's Kirby. Look, man, the guy's artwork is
awesome.
outstanding.
Yeah.
It's timeless.
But I think we can all agree the new one looks
the redesign was a lot better.
Yeah.
The original sketch of this actually landed up in the hands of Kirby's grandkids, which we're not even going to go into how much that's probably worth. Yeah. I mean, it's an original design and it's hand drawn by Kirby himself.
Question though, would that now be a prelim? You understand what I'm saying? Because it's like a work, it's like a work in progress.
Louis going,
is that?
What is a prelim?
Yes, okay.
Hang on.
I'm not going to explain it.
No,
for another time.
This is where the Gandalf Dolan wizardry knowledge comes up.
But I'll do it next time, Roger.
Okay, just give a brief bit.
So it's basically like when you're planning something, you're not 100% sure how it's going to look. So you just start, and you might start, and carry on going. And yes, funny enough, there's actually a market for them. So people would want to rather get a prelim than the full sketch, because it is the artist figuring out what the characters are going to look like. And so let's go. That's why I'm jokingly saying that, because that is complete. And then he goes to someone and goes, this is what...
I'm pretty sure he probably drew like a big black guy in a whole Coleman's outfit with a tiger tail as the Coal Tiger maybe as well. Like a...
Strangely, I wouldn't even mind owning that. As long as it's done because like Kirby, I don't
It's
care.
like step 1 and we do this, and then step 2 and we carry on. Okay, that makes
Okay, so obviously the design changed from Kirby's original design to what it is, or what it was on Fantastic Four issue 52. Okay, it's an iconic cover. It's an iconic cover from Jack Kirby. What do you guys think?
What year is that?
1966.
Yeah, I mean it's Kirby. It's Kirby in all his glory. It looks really really cool. Yeah, Bowen.
Agreed, that's a brilliant cover. I mean, think about looking at through a lens now. I mean, look at the focus. You've got the Fantastic Four around him, and I mean, those are iconic heroes.
Established as well.
Exactly.
52 issues down the line.
There we go. So now they're looking up, and there it is. There's this new character, friend or foe, and there it is. So I think it's brilliant. And it's
center page.
Yeah.
And that moonlight in the
background looks really
actually enforces that ominous kind of idea of his costume.
Correct.
You like you said, friend or foe. You don't know yet. You don't know yet. So where does this guy come from? Like what is his story? So basically, the Fantastic Four get invited to this great hunt in this very unknown place called Wakanda. Okay, so they decide they're going to go there. Little do they know that they are the objects of this hunt. So when they get there, T'Challa, who is the king chieftain of Wakanda, basically gets into this solid black costume and kicks their backsides inside and out. Obviously, with how comic books go, the heroes tend to win. So they kind of come back and T'Challa goes, but I thought I defeated you, and he admits defeat. And then he takes off his mask and he says, I am the chieftain of Wakanda, the king chieftain of Wakanda, and I am the richest man in the world, and this is why I invited you. And that's kind of where issue 52 ends. Then issue 53 explores where this guy actually came from. Tells us a little bit more information about Wakanda as well as a place, and it gets into his childhood, life with his father, etc., etc. And the Black Panther has been a sacred symbol within Wakanda for years.
It's like 10,000 years or something.
For years. And I love what Johnny, I think it's Johnny Storm or The Thing, they ask him, so where do you get these powers from? These Black Panther powers, like the ability to see at night and this agility that you have. And his answer is, we eat herbs.
Wow. Okay.
It's and you kind of left to guess at this stage. You go,
oregano.
Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, in his origin, just to get back onto point, in his origin, Ulysses Klaue is introduced. Ulysses Klaue is this main antagonist, which you will see in the movie. He was established in the Marvel Cinematic Universe in...
is that the guy who sells, is like an arms dealer?
Yes, in Age of Ultron.
He's got a very lekker Afrikaans accent going on there.
And sweets for kids.
And
don't forget, he had the bowl sweets.
Right, the sweets for kids.
To the children.
Yes, from Age of Ultron.
Does he have a van?
No.
Hey guy, come and have a sweetie and a AK.
You do that too well.
Okay, sorry.
So Ulysses Klaue is introduced, and what he's trying to do is he is trying to steal vibranium, and this is obviously something that we know. But for those that don't, Wakanda is the only place that large amounts of vibranium can be found.
Yeah. So much so that I'm not sure if it's in the first one or the second one. Where the Fantastic Four was like walking through his house and they're like, ooh, look, a whole coffee table made of only vibranium.
And he's like, yeah, you're sitting on a $20 million table.
Yeah.
In 1966.
In 1966.
That's rough.
Yeah, for sure. So now Ulysses Klaue is looking for vibranium to create this device, okay? And he uses this device to turn matter into sound or sound into matter. I can't exactly recall, but then what happens is, in order to get this, obviously the Wakandans put up a fight because it's their vibranium and he's an invader. He kills T'Challa's father, and he burns down a village. And T'Challa has this immense anger and wanting justice for his family.
A shit fit.
Basically. So then what happens is he goes to fight the Fantastic Four, to get that experience and to put himself against the best, because he feels once he's done that, then he's ready to take on Ulysses Klaue again. And Ulysses Klaue returns, he gets into a fight with him, and he basically takes him out completely.
Nice.
And just as he's done that, he feels, okay, I have now fulfilled my duty as the Black Panther. And the Fantastic Four kind of put their hands on his shoulder and they're like, no, you're awesome as the Black Panther. Carry on being the Black Panther. And that didn't take a lot of convincing because he goes, okay, I'll continue to be the Black Panther. And that's how it ends. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. It's brilliant.
Did he get his own then run of comics? Or?
Yes. Okay. So after that, the character obviously received a lot more popularity, and he did get his own issue, Black Panther issue 1. Yeah.
Awesome.
With the movie coming out this year, we're seeing some collectibles surfacing again.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got some oldies that I'll talk about and some newies on the way, and then of course the comic book. So the comic book's very popular. I mean, people want it. They see a character, they don't know who it is. They see a character, they Google it, they listen to the guys talk about it. So they're going, look, Fantastic Four, issue 52, first appearance of Black Panther, is something to collect as a comic book. It's something that you want. As a comic book collector, because let's be honest, you don't really want to read it. It's a very old book. It's something that you want to keep and preserve for hopefully, hand-me-down. So the book has seen movement. You're paying a little bit too much for it now because it's popular, but that we know. That we know.
That's normal. Yeah.
Correct. So you can either wait for it to come down in price, which sometimes it doesn't happen, but sometimes you can actually see that happen. So yes, Fantastic Four issue 52 is a book you want, including 53, the origin story. But people always want the first appearance. So keep an eye on that. Don't pay too much. Previous episode we spoke about the grading bit of it. So just keep that stuff in mind when purchasing that book. However, if you don't like the comic book and you're more of the figures or the statues, if you will, some awesome things coming out in 2018. Hot Toys. Hot Toys make stunning collectibles.
Absolutely, yeah.
So that's coming out, and we're looking at that coming out next month.
I think the preview of that came out yesterday of the Black Panther movie version.
Yes.
And it's amazing.
Correct. If I'm not mistaken, it doesn't have the cape.
No.
From comic books. So it's quite nice how they do the movie version instead of the comic version. So I like that. I really, really do. So we got that. So we got Hot Toys coming out. We've also got Mezco that's bringing out the 112. Also, film-based, which is really, really good looking. And if I'm not mistaken, we will be putting pictures of that in the thread.
Yes.
Awesome.
That's what I'm actually checking now.
Correct. So that will do, which is it's good looking statue.
Collectibles.
Collectibles, because statues, I always say, when I talk about a statue, I talk about
I think they can't move.
Porcelain. So anyway, so that's really nice. We also got the Kotobukiya. Kotobukiya is actually the Kotobukiya.
What is Kotobukiya? I don't know.
Right, so it's basically art FX or art
FX.
Yes,
right.
Right, it's a statue. They're 12.5 inch. So they're they're very detailed. They're brilliant. Okay. They've hit the market really hard in the last few years.
Yes.
People are loving it because it is good. It's more action based for me.
Yes.
So that's actually quite nice. So they are definitely releasing also their Black Panther. Cool. That's coming out in June.
Yeah.
And then there's a few extra ones that I don't really want to talk about because go look online. You will see them. Your comic book store will be doing the pre-orders for them. So go have a look at them. They're really, really good. So go to your comic book store, tell them you want to look at the preview book, and then pick what you want of that.
Yeah.
However, I like the older stuff. Going back to Bowen. Now, Bowen was a designer for Marvel back in the day, and he's taken a bit of a break. So those, for me, are for my personal collection, those are mine. Bowens are really good. They look a lot better. However, they demand a higher price now because people know that
people want them.
They've missed that opportunity. They've missed that opportunity. Also, they are basically got a collector one-off. So they make 1,000 statues, for example. They'll make the others also. They also do it as well. But Bowen puts it at the bottom. So Bowen has released 4. From 2004 up a little bit. So I've written them down, and the one that I like is what they call the modern statue. Okay, there's only 1,000 of them made.
Right.
Stunning statue. They've also brought out the classic, which is really, really good looking statue as well, and that's out of 2,000. Then they brought a bust. Now, you might not know this, but busts are also very, very collectible.
I'm a huge bust fan.
Yes.
I must be honest. Out of all the statues, that sounded terrible.
Yes.
I really, really, really preferred that from a statue perspective.
Yes,
That's
yes.
just me personally. Yeah.
Correct. However, when you have the full size, it's also
It's a bit
nice.
different, yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
So they brought out the bust version, which is quite nice, and then the other one, which is a lot more rare, is they brought out the modern version.
Oh,
Again, however, on the box you'll see that there's a gold sticker, kind of
Okay.
like look, like you're a good kid at class,
Uh-huh.
with a star on you. It says modern statue.
okay.
This is limited to 300,
Wow.
and some of them are art or artist proof and signed.
Oh,
Yes. So look out for those. I mean,
Okay.
these are really, really good ones to actually have in your collection if you are collecting statues. They
Cool.
are brilliant. And then, of course, you've got all the other memorabilia that's coming up.
Yeah.
You know, your
Yeah.
belts, your wallets, all that stuff. However, I still always truly believe that a character needs to be displayed.
yes.
So I like talking a little bit more about the statue base. But there are a lot of other memorabilia that you will be getting now.
Yeah. Cool.
So there you have it, kids. That's episode 2, the Black Panther themed episode done. If you're gonna go watch the movie, what a crappy question. When you go watch
When
the
you go
movie,
watch the movie,
please comment on what you think about the movie, how your experiences are. Do the spoiler alert thing that we all have to do. Please be kind.
Mhm.
And when you get the time, we really want to start getting more people involved in this. So please subscribe, send it to a friend. We are on Instagram as well and on Facebook. We will put the links on the video here on YouTube. And as always, thank you very much. From me, Louis.
And from Gav.
And from Dylan,
Thank you guys so much for spending time with us today. And as always, guys, support your local comic book store.
Always.